Hey guys, down here, ZFarls back from Houston. We were at Super Bowl 51 last night. We saw the GOAT in person. We're going to talk and see if he is the best quarterback in all of Ultimate Team. We've also got possibly the best receiver in Ultimate Team, and I'll tell you why right after this. And then, of course, the most clutch Super Bowl quarterback of all time and the only man to take down Tom Brady in a Super Bowl. Ho-hum did it twice, Eli Manning. We'll talk about that. But a quick thank you to everyone. Now that we're back, we're on camera. Just wanted to say thank you for everyone that tuned into Madden Bowl, tuned into any of the vlog content from Houston. We have one more vlog coming. It will cover a little bit of the game and lead up to it. Gibbs, AJ, we're in there, so we'll talk about that. But first up, I know you guys want to hear about it. Tom Brady gets this 99 overall Super Bowl MVP. Now, he currently sits at 999 cap value, along with the Michael Vick, who sits at the 999 cap value, who we broke down in our last video, and we know that he is currently at that price in salary cap because of competitive ramifications. They want to just take a look and make sure they set an appropriate cap. But the previous Brady's at 57. You know, Rodgers and Wilson are at 60. I think the Brady could get to 60, possibly 62, but he doesn't really have the speed that you're going to pay a premium for, so he's going to be super expensive, 60, 62 cap potentially, and we'll see how it plays out. So we dig into the Brady. New England chemistries, 97 throw power, 99 short, 97 mid, 97 deep, and throw on the run. And in my opinion, this Brady has every single trait you could possibly want at the quarterback position. He's clutch, senses pressure ideal. So I believe this Brady will play fantastically. It's not a question of if he is the best pocket passer in the game. It's just, is he worth the extra coins? I do believe Michael Vick overall as a mobile quarterback will be better. I think he'll be better for your team. And although he does have conductor, one thing I would call out, an interesting note we talked about after the Madden Bowl, was both players in the finals did not use a conductor quarterback. Most players did use the conductor Aaron Rodgers, but many players did not use the two finalists did not use a conductor quarterback. They used mobility, actually, to kind of get away from the blitz. So that could hurt Brady some. Now, he's sitting at $1.5 million. The other version is sitting at about $1 million. And then you have Stafford down at $75K. And after really looking at the Stafford, I don't think he's comparable, really, in any sense to this Brady. I just think he's too far removed at this point to really be in the conversation. He's solid. He's a great value budget pocket passer with conductor, but I don't know if he's there. But should you spend extra on the GOAT is the question. 75 speed versus 73. It's decent. Stafford gets you 77. Is that enough to get out of the pocket? Barely just enough. I would recommend going up to the Aaron Rodgers if you really wanted to do any scrambling. Throw power is 97. Now, both those other two have 95. Short accuracy, 99 versus 97 versus 92. I believe 90 and you're set, but the mid is where I would question it. Stafford's at 90. I don't know if he overthrows in the mid game, but you got to like that Brady in the mid game is going to be throwing strikes, and that's the critical area where I really like. Steve McNair could not make these mid throws for me. We saw Terrell Pryor overthrow some mid throws. I believe it's like 10 to 40 yards, so it's a pretty big range, I think, about where mid will trigger. And sometimes you throw high points in that mid range. You need those to be accurate. And when this Brady, if you can't high point and put a little left stick on it, a lot of people high point, but they don't use left stick, and they still get good throws. But with this Brady in this level, you need to be able to high point and left stick if you're paying this premium for a pocket passer to use. He needs to be on point with almost every ball. Same thing, 97 throw accuracy deep. It's incredible. And then the play action is right up there. So obviously throw on the run is the only real thing he's missing. I don't think you need to upgrade at this point, but if he drops to $1 million, then I think it would be worth it, and then this one will come down to 700. Then I think it's okay, because if you're playing in that ballpark, you might as well go for the best. Plus, the card art is more boss than the other card art. But if you need the budget version, I do think the Stafford is that budget version as long as his mid-range holds up for you. Otherwise, you could go to that 94 Aaron Rodgers that everyone's now been using for a long time. So that's the thoughts on the Brady. Let me know if you're going to switch to him. I still want the Vic. I'm going to try the Vic. That's the type of game I want to play. I don't want to be a pocket passer. I want to run away from the blitz rather than have to pick it up and stick in the pocket. some players do well doing that. Other players don't do as well doing that. I find myself running for my life makes me have more fun and leads to more dynamic plays. Speaking of other quarterbacks, though, I wanted to add 2 more guys into your pocket passing equation. The 53 cap Brady, the 94 from the Blitz, the Stafford we just saw, and then Eli Manning's new item. Once again, the most clutch Super Bowl quarterback of all time, Eli Manning. 57 salary cap. He's got deep threat, chain mover, and giants. So he has pretty good chemistries right there for a quarterback, unlike the Brady with just New England, but who doesn't really need the boosts at his higher items. Obviously, they made a mistake here and forgot to turn the clutch trade on for Eli. We'll let it slide. I won't email them or stop up at the desk and give them feedback on that. That's, whatever. They must have missed Super Bowl 42 and 46 and the NFC Championships. 77 speed on the Eli, same as a Stafford, so I like that. The Brady down here, this Brady's much, much, much slower than his other 2 versions. That's something to note. Throw power, they're basically all the same. Eli's 94, Stafford 95, Brady 93. Short, you got 96. Him and Brady match. Mid, him and Brady pretty much match. Obviously, slight edge to Eli. Deep, they match. Play action, Eli's obviously one better. Great fakes. So this could be where you go. Now, the Eli, of course, is at 600. I think he'll come down a lot because he just came out. Walter Payton Man of the Year, no big deal edition. This Brady sits at 300. I think that's still pretty appropriately priced. But is he that much better than the Stafford? I don't know. So this is that whole best, but probably not worth the extra, but he should come down in price. Second best, very close to the Eli, and you're going to save. Plus, he's got clutch. And then you have the Stafford, if you can't afford, who's not bad in any way, but those are the things you kind of got to weigh. I like the Stafford, and it's the same thing. Is if that mid holds up for you, then you're getting a great steal because everything else is pretty good. And as long as you're over 90 short, I haven't seen much drop off from there. So those are my thoughts on those quarterbacks. Now, we asked earlier if Larry Fitzgerald was the best receiver in the game. So I know you can't actually see this right now, so we'll just dig straight into his ratings. He's got 90 speed, 96 route running, 95 spec, 94 catch in traffic. So when I look at this Larry Fitzgerald, I say, who do we compare this guy to? Because he's not that fast, but all of the players at Manable really like this guy. Young Kip like this guy, Trubo like this guy. He run blocks. This run block for most receivers is usually not even this far out. He's a full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to con guy. He's like a stop sign -2. This guy, he's a full threat, basically, is what I'm saying. All the shapes. Now, is he worth double Demaryius or double Alshon? I'm going to say yes, and even though it's not going to look like it at first. So he makes sideline catches, he's got high motor, he's clutch, all the stuff you'd like to see. Speed, all 3 are right around the same. Strength, all 3 are right around the same. I think these 2 guys are really nice, comparable guys. But what you're going to get is the run block, which you're also going to get on the other 3 guys as well. I'm just stating once again how good those guys are if you can't afford Fitz. People really like that he run blocks. And then as far as spec catch, he's got 1 over, but that's not huge. Catch in traffic's basically the same. But what you get with the Fitz now, and this is new, and now he's got those 2 items like recent. So he's got 96 route running. The only other item we talked about having that stock with no chemistries is Jerry Rice. So now you start DeAndre Hopkins in your lineup. You get +2 catch in traffic and playmaker active. You start Larry Fitz and Jerry Rice at your 4th and 5th receivers with no chems active, and you have 2 96 route runner guys for C routes and run blocking. You don't have to bother with this because who cares about those? You don't need them to get to 96. All those other guys that are 94. The Fitzgerald and the Rice are amazing. It's worth it to have that extra. I think you got to start the Hopkins at this point. I think you bury those guys at your 4 and 5, and then at the 1 and 2 you activate some other chems that you need just to get the bonus. Maybe it's going to be a Moss or a McCaffrey, like some red zone guys who need that boost to get to that route running. I know they're similar types, but playmaker, having that and then having him stock there, plus he can run block is tremendous. I know he's a little bit slower, but he just plays well, and you have to trust it. You've got to trust that this Larry Fitzgerald is going to play well for you. So, guys, that is pretty much the gist of everything that came out regarding the Super Bowl. What a game to watch, what a game to be at. I still don't really understand how it happened. Gibbs was Gibbs for all day today because he was just happy. He was just happy. He was smiling. He could not stop smiling. He deserves it. Pats won fair and square. Great comeback. Falcons need to reevaluate a lot of things after that one. It happened in slow motion. I'll say that about being at the game. Like, I've seen that movie before. Never that bad of a version. But you could tell after the fumble for Matt Ryan, after the sack, it had to be flawless, and it was just playing out that way. The Pats didn't have time to make any mistakes after they got so far behind. And the Falcons helped them back in, plus the Patriots helped themselves in a big way. The catch by Edelman, Brady throwing 3 picks that weren't picks. They just got popped up to Bennett or fell to the ground, or Edelman swooping in, having to get the 2-point conversions, and they run those old 2-point conversion plays they've been using for years. And the Falcons not ready for them. The Falcons just wasting their timeouts. Just we're not going to need these later, and then they need them. Pats getting the ball in overtime, over, 1,000% over. The way Vic Beasley off the field a lot, in coverage a lot, not weird. Grady Jarrett looked good, but they tired those guys out, so you could see it happening on the field. The one thing I'll say about being on the game, which I heard they didn't get as much of on TV, is downfield routes. They were holding. The Falcons played one coverage the whole game, basically. They switched in the last drive or two. But basically all game, cover one, robber, it worked well. But they got tired, couldn't stop getting pressure. DBs, 92 plays on the field. James White got a good matchup. Edelman, got better as the game went along. He played really poorly early. Very many thoughts about the Super Bowl game. I really do like attending games. I know people say, I want to watch them on big screen with, popcorn and stuff. And it's when you go, you just see a lot more things if you're trained to know what to look for. The first holding penalty they called on 3rd down, it was a hold on a different player that when they showed the replay, they showed the main guy that he threw to, who wasn't the number they called. But I had recorded the play and I went back and watched. I'm yeah, he held him. So, I don't know if you get all that, looking downfield, Matt Ryan on the plays where he got sacked. On 3rd and 1, he dropped back 7-step drop. Nothing was open, and the routes weren't 3rd and 1 routes. They were deep routes. It was just just weird. I can't believe that happened. I really have a hard time figuring out how it all went down. That's all I have for you. If you have any other questions, we are hoping to get some Michael Vick gameplay up on the channel this week, so make sure to follow. If you guys want to see us use Fitz or even the Brady and see if we could get a pocket passer going, let me know. Shout out for all the great Super Bowl content. That's all I have for you. Until next time, guys, this is ZFarls saying lock up, and we'll see you for a stream. But it's a secret stream, so don't tell anybody. You know where it is, twitch.tv/Madden Tips, every Monday night. We'll catch you there.